Yo guys, what's going on? This is your girl Mad Skills. Welcome to another episode of the Spark Something podcast. Guys, we've hit a milestone. If you have been rocking with me since the very beginning, you will know that in the month of June, I relaunched this podcast. But along with the episodes for the month of June and all of the previous episodes before that, we have hit a milestone, guys, a mini milestone, and I want to say thank you. That mini milestone being, this is episode 10. Episode 10. Y'all, I'm excited. Like I'm excited. I am excited. I have been struggling trying to get episode 10 out, and I listened to last week's episode 9, entitled Being Consistent, and I was like, nope, we're not doing that. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to continue to remain consistent, because it's not about just getting to the stage. It's not about just getting in front of people. This is bigger than that. It's bigger than just, reaching a pivotal moment. Like it's more so about doing something that I normally wouldn't think that I could do, and remaining consistent in the process of it. I talk a lot about, in a lot of my episodes, about quitting. I talk a lot about quitting, and I shed light on that because that's part of the reason to why a lot of us don't finish. If you don't finish, that means you've pretty much given up. You put it on hold for far too long and you haven't gone back to it. It's okay to, put some things on hold, live life a little bit, and then get back to it. But we allow a lot of things to distract us from doing the things that we know for sure is the thing that is supposed to be what we do. Like it's ours. It's our thing. It's the thing, like I said, that makes our heart beat. It's our thing. And if we allow distractions and things around us to continue, because life is going to continue happening. I'm going to be honest with y'all out here in these streets. Life is lifing, okay? Life is lifing, and it's going to continue to life until time is up for us. You feel me? Until my time is up, life is going to continue to do what it does, which is life. Life is lifing out here in these streets. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not, pie. It's not a cakewalk. It's not a, just a stroll in the park. It's interesting out here in these streets. And I'm just trying to remain consistent in what I want to do and what, God is calling me to do, in my purpose, in my calling. I finally found something that puts a sparkle in my eye. I remember when I first started doing art. I first started writing. I first started making music. I first started doing poetry. There was a sparkle. There was a part of me that felt alive. And I still feel alive when I do it. In all honesty, it was how I started to view it. With me, once I start to view things as work, and I mean like slave work, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. Like you have to sometimes change your outlook on things. Like you have to change the way you view things. If the distractions that come in our life, if things come and they take our focus off of the thing that we're supposed to do, the thing that's supposed to be, the next level for us, if we allow that thing to distract us, if we allow anything to distract us from reaching that level, I should say, and we stay stuck on that, then, we might lose our grip. We may never come back. And this may be the one thing that keeps us alive. This has been a week for me. And I know I'm probably just going, and it might sound like I'm rambling, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have been having so many different thoughts in my mind that I'm having to, write these things down to remember them. And there have been a lot of things that have been happening. There have been a lot of things that have been distracting me from actually continuing to go forward. And one thing that I realized this week, I realized this because I'm actually recording this the Sunday before, which is July 2nd. I know this is dropping on July 5th. So not the 5th. It's dropping on the 6th of July. I'm sorry. But one thing that I realized that I had to do, and I have to wake up and do this every single day, and I want to just share it with you guys, is we have to make a decision. We have to make a decision on if this is what we are going to do, if this is our thing, if this is our calling, if this is where we're at. We have to decide that this is the stamp. Like, this is the staple. If I decided, or if I thought about, okay, I want to start a podcast, or if I thought about starting a podcast, if I thought about writing a song, if I thought about being creative, and this is just talking, from my point of view, because everybody that may be listening to this, you may not be creative, or you may not be a creative, but this podcast isn't just for creatives. This podcast is for regular, schmegular people just like me that think out loud sometimes. And this is pretty much what this is me thinking out loud. I want you guys to live your life just like I want to live my life. And that was a decision that I had to make recently. Like, I want to live my life. Like, I know I'm not always going to be happy. Things aren't always going to be great. Sometimes, life will be lifing, and situations may happen, and distractions are going to come. But regardless, through all of that, I want to live. Like, I want to enjoy the time that I have here. And I want to make sure that I have no regrets. I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to find peace, find happiness, find joy. And I want to be able to breathe easy without thinking that I don't deserve this. I want to be able to live life understanding that I deserve the best. Because it's been years where I didn't think I deserved that. But I want to wake up and realize that I actually deserve good things. And from waking up and realizing that I actually deserve good things, to actually choose these good things. Like, things are going to come up to where they're great. An opportunity that I've been waiting for, a conversation that I've been waiting for, things are going to come up and they're good things and they're coming to me. And these are the things that I want. But in wanting them, like, I'm second guessing, like, oh, do I really deserve this? Because like I've said in other episodes, I didn't always feel like I was good enough, or that I was worthy enough to even receive good things. But I had to make a decision in my life that the good things that were coming, that I want to be prepared for them. I want my mind to change. I want my heart to change. I want my eyes, the way that I view these good things. And I want to say, you know what? Yeah, I deserve that. If it's coming my way, yeah, I want to be prepared for it when it comes, because we can get so consumed on thinking the worst, or we can get so consumed on thinking that we don't deserve things. And when those good things actually come to us and those things show up in our life, we're so guarded. And the enemy has such a hold on our mental to where it's negative, to where, oh, when good things come, well, I'm just waiting for it to go. Things don't stay long enough. This ain't gonna stay that long. I already know. It's gonna leave like everything else. This person's gonna leave like everybody else. This situation's only gonna be here for a little while. But while it's there, like I said in a previous episode, words from Jeff Logan, live in the moment. Live in that moment of, while it's there, enjoy it. While it's there, take it for what it is. While it's there, if it's teaching you something, learn the lesson. Learn the lesson. Get what you need to get from this thing, because I would hate for something to come and it's good for me, and because I'm not prepared internally, like I'm not prepared, like within myself, that something good comes and I waste it because I'm too busy thinking that I don't deserve the good thing. Or I'm too busy looking at it like, who sent you? Like, what sent you? How you get here? How you get my address? Why you here? Like, I don't want to think that I don't deserve these things. So I lose sight that I actually do deserve this stuff. And when it comes to distractions, when it comes to situations that may come to like knock us off our pivot, we have to decide that I got to stay on post. That I need to stay on post. And if we don't know what our post is, then we need to seek God for it. We need to ask. We need to figure that out, because like, you deserve good things, bro. You deserve to live out your purpose. You deserve to have peace. There's a lot of people that don't have that. There's a lot of people that don't know. There's a lot of people that the distractions are coming and it's knocking them off their pivot and they can't find their footing. And you gotta know that you deserve good things. I was listening to and I'm gonna say this. In order for you to get to that version of yourself, and not even like, oh, something completely different, it's already in you. It's just laying dormant. Like that, the version of yourself that you're trying to like look for or get to is already there. When God created you, He created you with everything that you would need to succeed in this life. He created you with everything you would need to go forth in the things that He's calling you to do. That's why when He calls you, that calling is already like, it's already in you. It's already in you. It just wakes up when it hears it. When it hears God saying, come here, let me talk to you. It's already in you. So I was listening to B. Simone, and I'm a big fan of just her living in her truth and being authentically her. I appreciate that about her. You can say whatever you want. I've gotten a piece about that. I was listening to a video. Actually, I was watching a video that she did a couple years back, and she was talking about choosing your hard. And I'm saying hard as in HARD. And what she was saying was, life is hard. It doesn't matter if you go forward or you quit. It's hard. If you quit, that's hard too. Quitting is hard. Deciding not to quit is hard. Going against the grain is hard. Giving up everything is hard. You have to choose what you're going to do. And when you make a decision on what it is that you are going to do, stand on it. Stand on whatever decision you made. Even if you decide not to choose, that's still a choice. You're still making a decision by deciding not to choose. Make a decision. I was actually talking to God yesterday. And I don't know about none of y'all. I'm gonna get a little deep. My section in my apartment to speak to God in is in the bathroom. And there's things that people do in the bathroom, bathroom stuff. but I wasn't doing bathroom stuff. Sometimes I just go in there and I put on some worship music, and I just talk to God, or I just listen. And I was listening to God yesterday, and I remember, I forgot now, it honestly has slipped my mind what me and God were even talking about yesterday. I'll get back to it. I know it'll come back, but choose your heart. Choose your heart. Y'all gonna get this the way y'all get it, because I know it's him. But choose your heart. Whatever decision you make, like, you have to choose it. I was actually listening to TD Jakes. I was listening to TD Jakes, and this was probably like a couple years back. I'm always listening to people, and it's certain things and certain gems that they drop. And in those gems that they drop, some of them stick with me. Some of the things I write down, and then some of the things, like, it sticks with me so deep and so tough that I remember it if situations come back up. So I was listening to TD Jakes, and TD Jakes made a statement, and I don't know if this might have been like an older TD Jakes video, but he made a statement, and he was like, you have never thrown your whole self into something. You've never made a conscious decision to give your whole self to something. You've always, and this is just me adding on to what he said, we've always had a plan B. And it's okay to plan. It's okay to have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G. That's fine. But whatever the first plan is, I pray that every plan after that trickles back to whatever the first plan is. Like, any other plan outside of this, because this is the number one plan. This was the plan that you wanted from the beginning. This trumps every other plan that you've had. That's why it's plan A. So I've never fully thrown my whole self into something. So in deciding to throw my whole self into doing this every week, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's been a journey, pun intended, but it's a challenge to be consistent. But we have to decide that this is what we want to do. We have to decide that this is going to be the thing. We can't go another day, another year, another week pondering on maybe this is it. And we can't go another day, another week, another year, another whatever, thinking that someone is going to come along on this journey and just, well, I did it, so I guess it didn't turn out the way that I thought it was going to turn out. Let's try something else. Give your whole self to something. Especially that thing that makes your baby leap, that thing that makes your heart thump. Give your whole self to it. Even if you don't know where to start, how to start, what to do to get started, do some research. I had to do some research in order to figure out how to, create a podcast. So do some research. It's okay to do research, and know that if you're deciding to do something outside of the norm, that it is going to be difficult. And when it gets difficult, difficult to the point to where people don't understand because they're not on the journey with you, or they don't know what you did to get here. People have walked away on the journey because they don't understand, or they don't know what you did to get here, or you lose people in order to gain people, or in order for you to kind of silence some of the voices or silence some of the noise. Some of the people have to wither away, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But It has to be done in order for you to really stay focused on what it is that you made a decision to do a while ago, or that you're deciding to make a decision to do today after you hear this episode. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want to do, no matter what it is, do it. If it's purpose, if it's something that puts a spark in your eye, if it's something that makes you want to actually get up and go and do, go for it, man. Go for it. I mean, when I was in college and I had a friend of mine that came back after he graduated, he came back and spoke to us. I think he had graduated maybe a year prior, and he made a statement. He said, you know, I do photography, and he was like doing photography for like models, and I think he was doing some modeling stuff. And he said, I think he said someone said it to him. I don't know, but I remember when he said it, it struck a chord in me. He made a statement saying, I have to work this job in order to support this dream. And that goes for my 9-to-5ers, my 8-to-2ers, my, 7-to-7, my 12-hour shift people, my 8-hour shift people. That goes for my people that's still working. If you have something that you desperately want to do, if you have something that you know for a fact is your thing, and you haven't gotten there yet, while you're preparing, it's okay. It's okay. And I know, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. Bro, do your research if you have no idea where to get started. You might not have the crew. They might not show up. You might just have to start where you're at. And it's okay if you start where you're at. It's perfectly fine if where you are, you get started. You know, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I already told you where I'm at. I already told you where I'm getting started at. So I'm all for starting where you are. It might not look like everybody else's. It might not be put together all the way. You might have to start from scratch. You might have to start over. And I'm an advocate for all of that. You might have to do it different from everybody else. But regardless of how, you have to start. Start. If you need to start by doing your research on how to actually do this thing, start there. But when distractions come, don't allow the distractions to knock you off your pivot. Don't. And the only way that I would honestly say, the best way that I stay focused, I'm going to say this, is I think about the younger version of myself. I think about what she needed and what she needed to hear and who she needed to hear it from. If I can say anything to the younger version of myself, I would tell her, it's going to be okay. This road is an uncomfortable one, and it's rocky. And everybody you thought that was going to be with you on this journey, some of them may not be here. Most of them may not be here. All of them may walk away, or you may have to walk away from all of them, and that's perfectly fine. But I got you. You got me. God got us. Let's go. Let's go. Because there was something in me as a child that I knew I was different. There was something in me as a child that I knew that I couldn't just be mediocre for the rest of my life. It ain't nothing with people who want to be mediocre. If you want to be mediocre, this may not necessarily be the podcast for you. But if you find anything in it, I will say this. If you want to be the mediocre, be the best mediocre version of you that you want to be. That's a decision that you're making. At the end of the day, you decided. Now work that version of you the best way you can. If you know you're not mediocre, if you know you don't want to be mediocre forever, and you want more, you tap into God, you tap into purpose, go for the more. Go for the thing that people may not understand, because they may not get it. And that's fine. They may not understand, and that is fine. You might have to walk this journey alone, and you got to be okay with that, because that's also a part of the journey of choosing to go against the grain and choosing not to give up. It's tough. It's hard. Choose it. Life is hard. Either we're going to choose to live life, which is hard, or we're going to choose to allow life to just pass us by, which is also hard. But we have to decide, whichever one we choose, that we have to be okay with the choices that we make. We have to be able to live with the decisions that we make. And I realized in my life, I never decided. I always lived off of other people's decisions of what they thought I should be doing, or what they thought I should have done, or I shouldn't do, or whatever. I've always lived from that angle. And deciding to actually make my own decisions, I didn't realize how hard it was. And it is. I'm not talking about just, simple decisions. Like, what do I want to eat today? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about decisions on how do I learn to love myself authentically? What steps do I need to take? How do I learn to forgive? I want to forgive. What steps do I need to take? How do I learn to remain consistent in doing a show that scares me sometimes? How do I talk about sparking something in people? Every time I hit record, I'm going to keep saying every single time I hit record, it's sparking something in me. Like, I feel alive. Making a decision to wake up and live, that's where we at. That is where we are. So, I'm going to say decide what it is that you want to do. If God, we back. There we go. Boom. I told you it was going to come back. I knew it was going to come back. It was going to come back, and I was going to be able to, So I was talking to God about this. And God said something that was so profound to me. He said the best thing that I gave people outside of life is a choice. I gave them free will to decide on what it is that they wanted to do. Now, Jeremiah 29:11 says that God has a plan for us. Good plan. Prosperous. He got a plan. Listen, but he gave us free will to decide on whether we wanted his plan for our life, or we wanted to make plans for our life on our own. Now, this plan over here is already put together, and it's good. I want to try it out. I want to see what it is. And God has given us the freedom to decide on what it is that we want. That was the conversation I was having with him, and he was like, so many people are afraid. So I'm gonna end this by saying, decide what it is that you want to do with the time that you have here, and make it count. Because I can't spend the rest of my life just allowing it to pass me by. I have to decide to wake up today and live this thing out. So do you. I normally don't end episodes like that, but we're here. We're here. We are on episode 10. I want to say thank you guys again for just going on this journey with me and trying to figure out how to maneuver through this life and live it to its fullest potential. And I appreciate you guys for all the love, the likes, the shares, the comments, the support. As I go through this thing and I just pour out to you what God has poured out to me. So wake up and live today. That stuff that you've been pushing aside, decide that it's no more, that I'm going to actually walk this thing out. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. And I need you guys to decide. The world needs you to decide what it is that you want to do with your time. Because it's time out for wasting it. But I'm praying that this actually was a blessing to you. It was a blessing for me to actually make it. Go out there and be great today, guys. And should I? Yeah. This has been your girl, Mad Skills. This is another episode of the Spark Something podcast. And I hope this sparks some in your life. And I'm out. Peace, baby. Let's go.